finish this up, maybe. Let's at least make some progress, shall we? Okay, so if you remember last time, yeah, this still feels a little damp. Well, we'll give it a try. Remember last time, we had the pencil sketch and stuff put on here, but now we're going to go ahead and finish this up, hopefully. We'll see. We're going to find out really fast. By adding some clear medium to this, we'll do that with a fan brush. Now, if I was only doing a single object down here or a small area of the canvas, I could just wet that part and just paint that part. But today I've got to do trees and a bunch of other stuff. So, you know, I don't know that I couldn't do it a little piece at a time, but I don't see any reason to do it that way. But I do see a reason not to do it that way. And that reason is I want to keep the layer of paints, the number of layers of paint on the canvas relatively consistent. Okay, so we put some clear medium on here. I'm going to clean this brush. Put it away. And then we're going to wipe this back. And the reason is I just need a thin coat on there. Okay, so I still see a little bit of wetness in the canvas, particularly in the reds. So we'll have to be careful with that. We'll have to clean that up as we go a little bit. Now I've still got the paint on the palette from last time, and the reason that I didn't just start with a new palette was because I wanted to make sure that I could match colors as I went. So some of the custom colors that I built up, they're dry on there now, but we'll cover those up. I mean, we'll compare them. That's not what we're going to do. All right, so let's start off with some alizarin crimson. We'll start off with this angle brush. We're going to just touch up these doors a little bit. Now, it's been my experience that darker colors dry faster than lighter colors. So I'm a little surprised that the titanium white appears to be dry, but the alizarin crimson is not. But anyway, it is what it is, so we'll work with it. All right, let's start working on this building. Now I think I'm going to use this as a mid-tone, I think. In case you're wondering why I changed the direction of that stroke, it was just to really get it in there more than anything. Just to get the paint on the canvas. All right, there we go. We'll worry about the doors in a little bit. Not too worried about that right now. Over here. There we go. And I want these bricks to be several different colors. A little bit, well, not colors is not the right term. There's bricks are not that even in color. So in order to give them some dimension here, we're going to pull off a little bit of a puddle over here of this alizarin crimson. We're going to add just a touch of brown to it. Okay, that's way too much brown. So let's pull another pad off to the side. All right, let's see how this looks. These bricks over here maybe be a little bit darker. Yeah, this is looking okay, I guess. So as we're coming in close to this tree here, we'll darken some of these bricks. Give them a little more hue that way. All right, and then let's take that same color, add a little bit of bright red to it. All right. Okay. We're just going to clean the brush off. We're going to pick up some of this brown again. Take a look back at the reference photo. Get this nice dark shadow, and then I've got over here in this corner, we've got this thing, this 2x. All right, and then we've got across this way, just these little bricks, well, the little roof things. Okay. I had hoped to use a little bit of yellow there, but okay, there we go. I'm not going to worry too much about this paint running down this side. We'll just kind of paint over it. Shade these doors in. I don't think these doors look too good because they're kind of out in the country, you know. Add a little bit more yellow to this as we move to this other door, just because I want to pick up a little less shadow. Okay, now I've got to just touch that brown. Okay. It's coming along pretty good. Need a little bit of burnt umber on this. How much? Well, I could have just put a bead of burnt umber because I still got to do the trees. I forgot about the trees, but that's okay. We can always add more, right? Lay in the edges of these doors. Let's get them a little bit darker, just a little bit darker on the edge, that's all. season up that pipe. All right. Let's see. Last time we were doing this, in the first half of this video, I guess, we opted in a little bit of black, so I think we'll do that for the hinges again. And maybe the door handles. Oops. Whew, almost dropped it. That would have been bad. Because this tube was still open. Okay, let's put the hinges in. I'm not trying to get these hinges too perfect. I don't really want them too perfect. All right, we did add some of this yellow the last time onto this interior part. So, a significant amount of work we're going to have to do is with the tree branches and stuff today. Assuming we can get those done. We'll depends how we do time-wise. A little bit of grass back there. All right. So whip out my color wheel here. If you don't have one of these, consider getting one. Oh, let's see. All right, let's try this. Let's take, I think I still had some blue here on the palette. Yeah, okay. Take some ultramarine blue and some alizarin crimson. And a little bit of burnt umber. And a little bit of yellow. I'm looking at that. Let's add a little more yellow. All right. And a little more crimson. Now I need some titanium white on the palette. And the reason I do, I want to check this color and see what color I actually ended up with here. I know what it looks like on the palette, but that don't mean that's what it's going to look like when it gets on the canvas. Yeah, it looks a little brown. Let me clean my brush out. All right. Let's put a little more blue to this. Off to the side. Now let's see what we got. Yeah, I think that's looking more like what I want. We'll see how this does. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. Alright, so we're gonna, I guess we'll use the same color scheme we used on the other. So first though, we want to take this paint back off that we put on that we don't like. Alright, I'll just do that with a Q-tip. No big deal. And you know, if you learn to use these Q-tips, you can try all sorts of things without ever having to really commit. So, yeah, I think the main problem with doing that way was there's wasn't enough transparency in that. Okay, now this building here is kind of dilapidated, so we're going to try to reflect that as we put this in. That may be a little harder to do than you or I think, but we'll find out. We'll find out. I think I'm going to switch for just a second to go back to a flat. The reason for that is I think it'd be easier to make these boards that way instead of trying to pull them longwise. There we go. That looks pretty okay. We're going to come back and put some additional color to this in a second. I'll show you what I mean. Now, since you've seen I haven't reloaded my brush, you may have figured out by now that we're putting a pretty thin layer of paint down to make this color go on. Now all I did was flip the brush over so I could use the other side. Take the paint off of both sides. Paint works just as good off one side as it does on the other. Not much to say here on this part other than painting the stairwell here. I'm using the sharp edge of this flat just to finish loading this framework in. Okay. All right. Now we're going to add a little bit of highlight to that. We're going to do that with some yellow ochre. Do this brown. Not a whole lot of highlight going on here, but just a little bit lighter colors. Let's see. I want to add some more of this. All right, now let's bring a little bit more highlight into that. just lightly touching this. It's kind of offering a little bit of contrast here and there. I think right here, give this edge just a little bit of a look like that. Okay. All right. You know, I think maybe while I got that gray, I'm using that gray, let's go ahead and put some of that down on these steps. As long as I get the flat. Yeah. I'm going to add a little bit of highlight to that. A little bit. A little carried away there, but that's okay. Now, switching colors relatively quick here, but I think it'll be okay. I don't know if I'm going to leave this like this. I'm just kind of sketching this in to get myself back on track. Let's switch back to the brush. All right, there we go. Square these steps back up just a little bit. Oh, that's okay. Yes, I'm down on the ground, but it doesn't matter. We're going to put grass and stuff in there anyway. All right, let's lay down this crimson on these bricks. And then we'll bring some of this crimson and brown in on it as well. Plus adding a little bit of this brown is adding a little bit of opacity to that red, titanium. Okay, I'll get it right in a minute. To the alizarin crimson. Thank you. Slow down, Bernie. Slow down. I'm not worried too much about this border up against this tree. All right, now we're coming back with some bright red on some of this. And then maybe we'll throw a little bit of yellow into this as well. Now, yellow will brighten the red up a little bit more even than what we've got, but it will, it won't turn it pink. There we go. All right. Over on this side, we're going to add a little bit more brown. I don't want the bricks to get too harsh, but too dark, but they need to be pretty dark. Right there in the doorway. All right. Let's finish up a little bit of this right here. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Sharpening that back up a little bit. Let's put some extra shadow in right under here. And let's put some extra shadow in right over here. Along this tree. Let's put these cracks in the bricks. And then I think we're going to not pause, but we're going to change gears here and start working on some trees. Yeah, that looks pretty good. For that part anyway. All right. Oh, you know what? Still got to do the wagon wheel. I forgot that part. My bad. All right. Some of that, some of this. I don't really like that color. That's a yucky color, but oh well. It is what it is. Let's add just a little bit of shadow to this on that side. Like that. Okay. Trees. Trees. All right. These are some big trees. So we'll probably use a combo of brushes. We're also going to use a combo of colors. Some of which may surprise you, but here we go. All right, start with this tree. We'll work our way forward. So we'll do this tree, this tree, this tree, this tree. And I think this tree's in the background. It's got quite a few branches and stuff on it, so we'll be using a filbert and some burnt umber, some Van Dyke brown, and maybe a little bit of ultramarine blue, and maybe some purple. May throw some purple in there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's start with burnt umber. And we'll just work on the trunks here. Okay, I can't do that. There we go. Now this is a mix of burnt umber and titanium white. I know what it is. Okay, let's try it again. This is a mixture of burnt umber and Van Dyke brown. Okay. Let's carry that up a little bit more. And maybe one more time. This is Van Dyke brown, almost exclusively. I don't want to get too dark, but I want it to be fairly dark to start with. Then we can work our way back. Burnt umber. The branches are out here in the sunlight a little bit. I'm sharpening my filbert up a little bit. I'll make that branch a little larger, but not too large. Okay. Let's see. Let's carry on to the next tree. And let's start off with Van Dyke brown. And here close. Van Dyke brown. Van Dyke brown. Burnt umber. Van Dyke brown. Now you notice I didn't go all the way out there because I'm going to take the script liner back up there in a minute. You know, I think maybe let's bring this tree down and then I'm going to widen it. Make it look better, a little wider. There we go. That looks better. I like that. So we painted over the door part of the door that we put up there. Let's turn this, make it easier on my sore arm, shall we? It's going to be a little bit free with the brush. A little loose. I got trees there, but I got tree branches there, but that's okay. It's all right. If I get off a little bit, well, I just make more tree branches. Ain't no thing. Okay. All right. Now, let me look at that for a second. All right, let's just carry on here. Let's go ahead and do the trunks. I'm going to come back and work on the rest of everything else. I'm going to highlight the trunks too before we get done, but it's not all that important at the moment. It is important, but before we put all the branches in, but it's not that important right now. Okay. I'm not really trying too much to cover that all of that paint because it's under there, because I want some of that underpainting to show through. So, now this tree is sitting in front of this other tree, so we're going to have to paint over that branch that we just put in. That's okay. It's all right. Okay, almost there, guys, almost there. We got another great big branch going off right here. This tree here is inspired by a tree that's in my mom's backyard. It's actually two trees that they didn't plant far enough apart when they were little babies. And they grew up to make one big gigantic tree out of two smaller trees that look like one big tree. Can't tell you how many people have said, "Oh, that is a big tree." I've never seen those kind of trees get that big. She's like, "Well, it's not one tree." All right. Okay, let's finish this up just a little bit right here. Fence in front of this building. All right, that's looking pretty good. All right, let's do let's do some highlighting first. So the sun in this painting is kind of emanating from behind that house. So there's not a whole lot of like bright highlighting that needs to go on, but there is some. So let's do that. And I don't know if I'll do it with a brush. Maybe I'll do it with a brush. Let me decide what highlight color I want to use. And it's not so much that I'm worried about the particular hue as I am about this paint that I'm about to use is Grumbacher pre-test, and this particular color is relatively not quite so thick. So as the other Grumbacher pre-test. So hopefully we'll see if we can. We're going to pick up some color with this. We're going to start with this yellow. Let's see how that hangs. That might be a little bit too bright to. I don't need any down there up by the house, so. A very light touch here. Okay. I like the way that came out over there, but not so much the way it came out over here. Now we're going to leave an even lighter touch just to kind of smooth that out. There we go. Add some texture to these trees. All right. Now let's see. Let's play that with some dark. See how that goes. Start off with this black. Add some darker areas into these trees. Now, this black is not going to play too hard against this really dark brown, but it will make a difference. Let's put a little bit more on the palette. We're just creating some shadows. Yeah, not too much on there. All right, pretty happy with that part. All right, we're down to the hardest part, I guess. I don't know what's the hardest part, actually. All right, let me get a few things arranged here. I've dropped too many things while we're streaming. But if I didn't drop something, it wouldn't be one of my videos, probably. I'm always dropping stuff. All right, let's turn this upside down. Let's do some script liner work. All right, so we're going to get a little bit of medium on the palette, and we're going to get some burnt umber Okay, let's see. Let's just start over here. And I want it to be a little thicker than that, I think. I don't want these branches to run down the page as I'm putting them on. And one of my advices to script lining is when you're think about, don't just put your branches on randomly. Think about where you want them to be and where they're coming from. So like this branch here is coming off of that tree back there. So let's look at that for a second. We're going to start on the trunk and then work our way out. Bring that branch all the way out. Then it's kind of coming up this way. Here we go. That's a little wider than I want it to be, but it's okay. And the reason for that, I leaned forward on the brush, and when I did, it pushed it down. And that's my fault, not the brush's fault. Oh my goodness, right here in the middle there's no really easy way, so we'll just have to go out to the side and do our best. And remember, your branches should be, you go out and look at a tree, you won't find very many straight branches. You don't have to squiggle them in any particular form or format. I mean, they're every darn which way, so however you do them is the right way. And particularly since you're doing it in your own universe, right? So, yeah, just be cool. Shake your hand a little bit. It's all good. So now I'm kind of thinning this out a little bit more because I want to let some of that yellow from the background bleed through to that so I don't have to highlight it too much. There's a big branch I missed. There's a little branch. Okay, now we got some fancy schmancy branches we got to do here. Then we can start putting in leaves. So we got one branch over here that runs from the tree up like this and then disappears. Except for a couple little branches I'm going to add right there. All right, now over here though, we got a branch that comes across the house and branches again right here. And then branches again because I'm a fool. I'm an idiot. To make it as hard as I could possibly make it. All right, let's see. There we go. All right. And not to be outdone, we got another branch right here. It starts right here. Because, once again, I'm crazy. All right, so we got this branch goes this way. It goes this way. And it comes down. This is going to get a little tricky because it's... There we go. And then it's got a bunch of little dubers off of it. And it's got another little duber out this way. All right. And then where does it branch again? It branches right. All right, here's where it starts. So let's, or where I see it. So let's just kind of bring it down. Bring it down. All right, we're gonna have to highlight this though to make it show up really good. All right, now we got a branch. This branch hooks up and then it goes down this way. All right, so let's add some color to that. Let's put some color on this side. Like that. Let's keep that same color and add it to the inside right here. Oh, that's way too much. Way too much yellow. It's okay though. We can take a little artist liberty here. Change our painting right at the last minute because it always makes it real exciting. All right, let's go ahead and add another branch right here. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. That's a ticket. All right. Okay. Okay, let's put some leaves on this bad boy. In order to build the structure up that we want for that, now to do these leaves, we want the leaves to come out green, but not just green. So let's start off with sap green and burnt umber. Maybe just a touch of blue. Where did blue go? There it is. Maybe just another touch of blue. Okay. All right. Now it's really important as I do this to make sure that I try not to miss too much of these underdubers. I mean, it's okay. I don't have to hit the same spot because they'll show up in the painting anyway, and that's fine. That's perfect. But I would like to hit in the same general area, so let's kind of hit in these areas. And of course down here and over there, we're going to have to invent something. So we'll do that when we get over there. Oh yeah, that's coming out okay. Green, burnt umber. Mix it. Throw in a little blue. Again, we want to keep this side relatively dark. Dark. Not real dark, but you know what I mean. Right? Oh, let's add a few little branches right here. Maybe another one right here. And these look a little more leafy. There we go, that looks better. Now these I'm going to leave just be dead down there. And we're going to highlight them a little better. A little more gooder. All right. Okay. Let's clean that brush. And then we're going to switch filberts because I want a different size of highlight to hit on those things. So you don't have to do it that way. But I'm gonna. You can do yours different though. If you want to. If you feel like it. We're going to add a little bit more color to this right here in a second. I'll tell you what, let's let that kind of set up for a second, and let's do a little bit of work on this branch right here. I want this branch to show up a little better, so I'm just going to highlight it just a bit more. How it kind of comes across. There we go. I'm just using that Biscayne yellow or whatever the heck color it is. Yellow. Now let's add a little bit of branching to that branch to this. And a little bit right there. Alright. Maybe slap a little bit, just a touch of brown to that. Yeah, I'm glad I did that. Okay, that should be enough time for that to set up. Filbert, sap green, and just a touch of sap green and some yellow. And let's do this. We still got to put all the grass and stuff in too, so. Now, I want to pay particular attention as I do this. Let me put some of this edging in first. What I mean by that is I'm trying to kind of think of where the sun would be hitting the edges. Up here in the top, up to the top. And then it get a little darker as it comes down. Now, okay. Like that. I think I need a little more yellow up in here. Don't have any there. Okay, that looks pretty okay. It's a good idea with a filbert every so often to wipe your brush back. You'll see the paint's built up in the back of the brush. Move it around just to make sure you get it where you want it, so it's on the right part of the brush. Just touching up some spots here and there. All right. Now let's see. Let me just kind of check this color. Yeah, that's okay. Tell you what. Let's just do that. Let's just finish this with a filbert. So let's use a little bit of green. We're going to do more with this. We're just going to get some color on the canvas to start with. Remember, I got some dark colors on here already, so, and they're wet. So we're going to try to drag that paint around a little bit with us. Up here, this area's grassy, but it's darker, so we're going to leave it that way. This tree's not so wet. All right, it's coming together okay. We're going to do some more with this. We're just laying down color right now. Don't worry, don't worry about it. Just get your color down. Okay, a little bit more, and then we can start working this out. All right. And we're just putting some shadows in with some blue. I don't want to put too much shadow there because I want to put some in like flicky some grass up in here. Now you can use any brush you want to make grass. A flat works really good. Any place you don't want it, you just kind of take it back out like that, right? So it's no big deal. All right. Just shadowing this in. All right. Now I want to blend that, and we're going to add some final touches. Here's a fan brush. Really light touch here. Put some grass right there, maybe. That probably would have been nice little touch I could put in there. So we'll. All right. Oh, and I gotta put the rocks back in. Destroyed my rocks. So let's see. Let's use some of this. No, let's use some of this, and let's use some of that with a little bit of touch of that. No, more touch of that. All right, let's try this. Okay. All right, what did I say I want to take grass? No, up along here. All right, so let's just pop a little in there. And then we'll pick up some sap green and a little bit of yellow. Adding a little extra path in here, maybe. More around this way and that way. All right. Okay. All right, let's do a little bit of secondary color here. We're just creating another layer of shadow, really, by using blue. That'll keep this dark, and at the same time it'll give us some reflected light back here. Yeah, I like that. That's kind of nice. All right. Okay, let me do any final touches here. We'll call this one done. Let's get last couple little things. Nothing big, just a couple little doodads. A couple little doodads right here on this branch. I'm going to use that blue, grayish color to kind of bring these branches, you know, to life. They're kind of stuck back up in there, and you know, it's okay. Looked really nice in a sketch, but they're not showing up too good. So let's just kind of pull them out just a little bit. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Anything else? Oh, yeah, right here. We need this part right here to be super dark in the corner of this door. All right. Okay, that's it, guys. So anyway, this was a two-part painting with the underpainting and then the first colors. It was sizing up to be a three-part painting if my arm wore out, but it didn't. So, you know, if you watched this far, I really thank you. I hope you'll leave a like and subscribe. And we will be back next week painting some Volkswagens. So if you saw my last Volkswagen painting, it was pretty fun. So we have a good time. So I hope you come back and see it. And we'll see you then. There she is. Thanks, guys.